I think for me, one of the funny things about this year is we've all experienced a significant amount of disruption during 2020. And what you can see is when you look at the slide, you see this picture of this little boy looking at the world around him through these Lego bricks. So he can still see what's going on, but things definitely have a different shade to them than usual. And as we've all experienced COVID-19, it probably means different things to some of the people that are on this webinar today. So some of you may be working in businesses that have found it extremely challenging. It's been pushed your business to perhaps on survival mode at an extreme level. On others, maybe if you're lucky enough, your business hasn't been disrupted that significantly. And for others, it's actually created new business opportunities during this time. And I felt that as a finance professional, for all of you that are on here today, no matter which one of those you find yourself in, when you get to moments like this, it is absolutely a time to add value to your business and your business partners and actually leave a legacy, because you can make a really positive impact. So let me tell you on the next slide a little bit about what we've been doing in the Lego Group to help us navigate through these period of uncertainty. And what you can see on the slide is on the left-hand side, I've put out kind of our normal planning process, how we work, and then how we've actually changed that during 2020 to manage through this period of disruption. And what you can see on the left-hand side is in Lego, we tend to work on roughly a 4-year horizon from a planning point of view. So we have very clear ambitions as a business of where we want to be, what our big bets are, and what success looks like. And for most of our employees in the company, they pretty much know what they are, even though they may not know all the details behind them. So that works very well for us because it actually allows us to make sure that when we work in shorter time scales, so like a 1-year plan, and we want to get commitment from our business, everything ties to our long-term business ambition. So this works extremely well for us. It also makes sure that we put the right resources and focus in our business, and we even measure people from a KPI point of view that we're heading in the right direction. When you then boil that down into even shorter time periods, what we have really tried to do inside the Lego Group is when we do financial forecasting is not to create too much complexity. So when you take any 12-month period, we actually only do 3 what we call bottom-up forecasts. So we really do things in a lot of detail. It's actually driver-based, so we know what's driving our cost, where we're putting our big bets and our resources, and we also know the nature of the cost. So for example, about half our cost base in the Lego Group is related to people. So it's very easy and quick for us to be able to forecast exactly where and what the price tag is for that. So for the remaining 9 months in any 12-month cycle, we really do some top-down scenarios, and that's mainly targeted to our upper leadership. And we do this very quickly. I mean, I'm talking about in the morning, we'd normally do some quick scenarios for our executives. So these are quite light, and just reflecting on the poll question in the previous section where people were saying it takes a lot of time. You really need to make sure that you're only doing what's necessary to create those scenarios and call out what assumptions you're working with. So that's how we normally work with it. When I switch over to during this time of uncertainty, very quickly, and it was roughly about March 2020, when we realized now we're going to have to do things differently. So we actually started doing weekly scenarios and financial plans. When things calmed down a little bit, so more towards the middle of this year, we actually decreased that to bi-weekly. And right now, as I'm speaking to you today, we roughly more back to the cycles that we would normally do, so roughly monthly. But during the time when we were doing weekly or bi-weekly forecasts, the thing that really helped us and navigate through the uncertainty was we didn't do one forecast. We actually would show every week what high, medium, and low growth scenarios look like. So this acknowledged the fact that there's uncertainty. Nobody can predict exactly where we're going to land up. And within those scenarios, what we would do is we would call out what assumptions we've made. So it's easy for especially our leadership to know, well, where can things actually land up? And alongside those scenarios, something that really, really had a significant benefit to us is we worked with risks and opportunities. Mike, on the previous session, touched a little bit on this in the life cycle analysis. So when I'm talking about risks and opportunities, what it actually helped the Lego group do is when we were facing into certain risks, we would take the necessary actions to mitigate those risks as far as we can. And if we actually see new opportunities to boost our business, then we would actually make some choices to actually leverage those opportunities that were available to us pretty quickly. And something that we spent a lot of time on in 2020 that we wouldn't normally have done from a planning point of view is we looked at our credit risk. So for all of you on the webinar today that maybe work in the retail sector, you know very well that the retail landscape has significantly been disrupted. So we had a lot of customers reaching out saying, can we have extended payment terms or different types of payment terms? So we really made sure that we helped our business navigate through that and understand what the cash flow implications of that were. So all in all, it really facilitated a lot of business decisions, and our finance folks were at the table to help those. So just to summarize, and I've only got my last slide left here, is there were probably 3 areas that I would call out just to reflecting back that I would recommend and things that helped us to navigate through this. So the first thing is really we have very strong systems in the Lego group for our financial planning, and it's supported by driver-based logic. The second one is working with risks and opportunities. And the third one is actually we really were able to help the CEO dial up communication during the period of uncertainty. And I'll just touch a little bit on each of those. So the first one is systems. So we do have a system, and it's very flexible. I think the thing that helped us is because we know where we spend our money, we know what drives our cost. So when you hit a period of uncertainty, it's easier for you to navigate through that because you know how to pull and push on different areas of your business. And we do actually use Excel for some of our top-down scenarios because we do it very quickly and very simply, but it's probably not the solution for everybody, just to acknowledge that as well. Working with risks and opportunities, here are some 4 quick examples. So we actually managed to accelerate some of our business growth strategies that ties into our 4-year plan because we were faced with them and we jumped on them very quickly. We were able to reinvest savings, and I'll give you an example. So all of us have experienced the travel disruption that we see still today going on. So we were able to take out those savings and spend that money on something else. And an example was we very quickly, after COVID hit us, we gave the possibility to everybody to have work from home equipment. We also, from a product supply point of view, we're able to help our factories that were sometimes temporarily closed know how and where they should supply products as a preference from a profitability point of view. And then finally, also we were able to react and do the right thing from the company point of view to support Black Lives Matter, not only with financial support, but with community engagement. And then the final thing was the communication part. So our CEO was able to do a video update to all 19,000 employees during the COVID period. And that was also partly thanks to navigating and how we supported them. So I'm going to close off there, and now I'm going to open up for questions and comments from my colleagues today.